Today we're going to look at probability, and our learning objective is going to be able to describe probability using words and numbers. I know some of you can already do this, but we do need to practice and be really confident with this. What is probability? Well, probability is how likely something is to happen. You might have also heard it called chance. Probability can be expressed as fractions, decimals, or as percentages, or on a probability scale. In the picture that we can see here, we've got the probability scale with 0. If an event has 0 chances of happening, or if it's impossible for that event to happen, it would be at 0 in that red area. And if there is 100% certainty that an event will happen, it will be at number 1. All probability is measured out of 1. So how likely is something to happen? Well, we can describe that in words, and if something has got low probability, it's unlikely to happen, and if something has got high probability, it's likely to happen. So for example, tomorrow the sun rising would be certain, and it would be at the number 1 of the scale. So here we are asked to match the events with the most appropriate probability word. A student picked at random from a college will have hair. The chances that we pick someone out, for example, from Courtfield School, a student or even a teacher, that they will have hair, well, the probability is very high, isn't it? Somebody might have gone out and shaved their hair, but most probably the person we pick would have hair because more people would have hair than not. So it is likely. The roll of a standard fair dice will show a multiple of 3. That's B. Well, a standard dice with 6 sides will have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Only 3 and 6 are actually multiples of 3. So the chances of rolling it is 2 out of 6. So it's unlikely, although it is possible. For C, if it is autumn now, then the next season will be summer. Well, we know that summer does not follow autumn, so the chances of that is impossible. D, if a multiple of 8 is chosen at random, it will also be a multiple of 2. Well, all even numbers are multiples of 2. 8 is an even number, so it will. That is a certain probability. E, a number chosen at random from a 100 square will be even. Every second number from 1 to 100 is even, which means that half of them are even and half of them are odd, so the chances will be even. It will be a 50-50 or an evens chance. This is a chance for you to give it a go. Match the words with the probability statements and pause the video. When you've done, unpause and you will see the answers. And here are the answers. Make sure that you mark your work. And if you've got something wrong, try and figure out why. If you're stuck and you have no idea, email me and I will explain it. Okay, so Geeta has the spinner. We have to assume that Geeta's spinner is a fair spinner, which means that any of those numbers, the 4, the 3, the 5, the 6, all have an equal likelihood of being chosen when we spin the little dial. So the question is, what is the chance of spinning the numbers in the boxes below? Match each box to the correct word. So one has been done for us. Okay, so it says an odd number. What is the likelihood of that little spinner landing on an odd number? Well, there's an even amount of even numbers and odd numbers. So we've got 4 and 6 are even, 5 and 3 are odd. So the chances are 50-50. It's an even chance. It could land up on an odd number or on an even number. What is the chance of it being spun and it landing on 2? Well, there is no 2, so that would be impossible. Third question, a number less than 10. Well, that is certain because 3, 5, 4 and 6 are all less than 10. Okay, so here are 2 questions for you to try. The first question's got a spinner. You can spin any number from 1 to 6 on the spinner, and your job is to write down a number that is impossible to spin. The second question has a bag of marbles. Now we can see what's inside the bag, but Pete, who's going to pull a marble out of it in a minute, has no idea because the marbles are hidden in the bag. So the question asks, what kind of marble is Pete most likely to pull out? And B, how do you know? Pause the video, give it a go. When you unpause, I will show you the answers. Okay, so for the answers, what number is impossible to spin? Well, it would really be any number that is less than 1 or greater than 6. So you could not spin that spinner and get a trillion. For the second one, okay, the most likely marble to be pulled out of that bag is going to be white because there are more white marbles than any other color. And now we're going to have a look at the probability scale. As you can see here, we've got a very basic probability scale with impossible on the left and certain on the right, and in the middle is even chances. So often we will talk about flipping a coin and say what are the chances of getting heads or tail. Well, there are only 2 chances. So the chances, if it's a fair coin, are going to be even. There's a 50% chance of getting a heads or a 50% chance of getting a tails. Probability is measured out of 1. So on this probability scale, we can see that 0 is for an event which is impossible. So for example, me learning how to fly would be an impossible event, and there's 0 chances of it happening. And with 1 being certain. So it is certain that tomorrow the sun will rise. It's got 100% probability or 1. A square has 4 right angles, so the probability of a square having 4 right angles is certain because 4 right angles is what makes a square, or is part of what makes a square. But meeting King Henry VIII is impossible. There's 0 chances of it happening because he's dead. The chances of the next baby being born a boy has got an even chance. The chances that I will win the lottery tomorrow is unlikely. Even if I buy a ticket, it's unlikely, but it's not impossible if I buy one. And rolling a number less than 5 on a dice is likely, because you've only got 6 numbers on a dice, and 4 out of those 6 numbers are going to be less than 5. Very likely event. A very likely event is that you will complete your home learning on time. That's me being hopeful. And a very unlikely event is that I'll be struck by lightning tomorrow. Here is a probability scale for you to give it a go. So, where would you place the events that I have mentioned here on the probability scale? Just put your numbers. So, the sun will rise tomorrow. We've already said that will be a certain event. So, I'll put number 1 here. Pause the video, give it a go, and when you're ready to mark it, unpause. So, that you will live to be 100 years old is impossible. To spin a coin and get ahead, it's even, because there are only 2 choices, so it's a 50-50 chance. There's, I decided, a likely chance of it being sunny tomorrow, because actually we've had a lot of sun recently, it's been lovely. And a number chosen at random from 100 square will have at least 1 digit in it. Well, that is unlikely because only 10 numbers from 1 to 100 are single digits. In fact, only 9. Okay, because we're not going to count 0, it is from 1 to 100.